Hey everybody, Alex here, and welcome to another video. Pickups, All-American pickup video for January of 2021. So, I actually found the old uh, camera light, so I threw that up. We'll see how this turns out. Doesn't work out. I'm actually on lunch, so I thought now's a good time to do it because honestly, not all that much. So, let's get into it immediately. First, we have Big Sky Trooper. This is a weird sort of LucasArts sci-fi-ish ToeJam and Earl Zombies Ate My Neighbors game. I actually never heard of this game before. I actually heard about it from SNES Drunk. Primarily it's like I guess it's a YouTube channel, but he primarily does like, is this game worth playing today, that sort of thing. This was on one of his lists of like obscure gems that nobody really talks about, and it looks super cheesy and campy, kind of like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, but with that same tongue-in-cheek humor like ToeJam and Earl. So I thought I'd check it out, and it really wasn't that expensive. I think this was like $14. And then I finally got myself a copy of Ys 5. This is not the expert version, which is the hard version. That's more expensive. And this is obviously a box complete Super Famicom game. And pardon the glare there, but look at that. This is what I'm talking about. Now, Ys 5 does have a fan translation. And I've had it on my flash cart for a long ass time and just never played it. But as these things go, for me to actually say I did finish it and count it, I have to own it legitimately. And since I have, what do I have? I have all the Ys's except this one. I thought this would just be really cool just to have it in a box form, especially since the artwork is so good. And honestly, from what I remember, this game is like kind of mixed in terms of how people like it. It translates to Kingdom of the Sand. A lot of people, I think, from what I remember, have said that the expert version is a lot better. Probably because I think, if I remember, man, I'm going to say that a lot. This is just incredibly easy, and I think it uses the bump mechanic, but I can't recall. Now, moving on to that, we do have a Switch game. I got the Caligula Effect Overdose. And honestly, I was not interested in this game when it first came out on the Vita all that time ago, and I was like, whew, dodged a bullet. Then they got this Overdose version, which came out on the Switch and the PS4, and I was like, whew, dodged a bullet. But then Leo showed it off in a video, Leo the Funny Nerd, and I was like, okay, well, he's right. I don't really see it as much anymore, so I decided to do a search, and of course, it was sold out everywhere. So I'm thinking, oh no, like what if I'm actually interested in this? So I watched a review from Tark's Gauntlet, and his review is actually good in the sense, his reviews are very good actually, but this review is great in the sense because he basically explained the whole premise of the game and then just said the combat sucks unless it's on hard. So that kind of answered the question, because he even said like the social structure of the game is probably the best part. And that tends to be what I enjoy in these weird high school anime nether realm internet things. But here's the interesting thing. A lot of people have been calling it a Persona ripoff, which it does have a little bit of that going on, but it's the same writers. So the more you know, I guess. Now for PS4, we got Metal Slug XX, and this was a limited run release. For whatever reason, I'm thinking probably because it never came out on it. This did not get the Shockbox treatment for their little Neo Geo set, so I was kind of disappointed on that. But Double X is really good. I had originally played it on the PSP, and the PSP version is good except for whatever reason. Actually, it's not for whatever reason. There's load times, like for loading bosses. There's literally load times. It's kind of peculiar, but probably the most fun aspect of it is like everybody's in this. I mean, you can see for you King of Fighters guys, like there's my boy Ralph. So it's fun. But overall, it's just another Metal Slug game. But Double X is probably one of the better. I think, if I remember, this is an enhanced version of Metal Slug 7 that was on the DS. I think. I'm pretty sure on that. Now, this release probably comes as no surprise to anybody, but I got myself a copy of Hitman 3. So Target did this whole buy two get one thing around about just before Christmas, I think, and it worked on pre-orders. So basically, I just pre-ordered a bunch of stuff, knowing I'd be getting it for $20 off. So I got this game, Hitman 3. I think the one that I paired with this was Monster Hunter Rise, which obviously isn't out yet, and Atelier Ryza 2, or Thyza, as people are calling it. It's an Atelier game. I, in essence, love all of them that I've played, and I am eternally behind this in the series. I'm up to the second game of the Dust trilogy, and if I wasn't doing the Cold Steel challenge that I've imposed upon myself, maybe I would do that with the Atelier games. But I feel like just the menu management of just crafting over and over again, that may get a little old pretty quick. But everybody said Ryza was really good, and given the fact that there was a scarcity issue with the first game, primarily on the Switch, I thought, fuck it, let me just get it now and get it out of the way. But I'm keeping them on the PS4 only because, and I want to do a video on this, as much as I love the Switch, certain things just have no business being put on the Switch. I mean, it'll make Nintendo and the company money, of course. That makes sense. It's livelihood. But I don't know. And then Hitman 3, this is weird and exciting all at the same time. So this does come with a PS5 upgrade, and it does have a VR mode, which looked really interesting when they showcased it. The PS5 version does not have the VR mode, but with the PS4 version, you get the upgrade for the PS5 version. So technically, you're better off getting the PS4 version. And I think that has to do with the fact that since the PS4 is emulated, it emulates that VR environment, and the PS5 version just can't do it. It can't reverse engineer itself into a PS4 game for that purpose. So I guess if you don't have a VR and you're not interested in VR, that's a good option for you. I guess, I don't know, but it was the same price too. So ultimately, I'm just like, well, if I have to install it to the hard drive anyway, may as well just get the VR mode in case I want to check it out. And what I really like about the Hitman games, mind you, this new reboot, I have barely played one and have not played two, but I've always loved the series. And that's because even though it is kind of like an assassination game, as it were, it's a puzzle game at the end of the day. It's not so much going in, mowing down dudes and walking out unscathed, or maybe you're shooting your way out. You can, of course, do that, and you'll probably pay a penalty for it in terms of difficulty. But there's something oddly satisfying about just planning something out and completing a mission in one of a billion possible ways, and then finding out which method works for you. And people go back and do these missions just to see if they can finish it in another way, or maybe they could circumvent something altogether. And that's probably the most exciting part about these games. It is for me, at least. Is, you can go through the game once, experience whatever story there is, and then say, what, I'm going to try to do it this way this time. Whether it's you disguise yourself differently, maybe you take a different approach. And I've mentioned this tons of times before, but I feel the need to mention it again. In Hitman Absolution, one mission, I had to take out, I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody important. So I put C4 in the men's room, and I basically just camped out on the dance floor until this guy went to the bathroom. The second he was in the bathroom, I walked towards the exit of the club. I hit the button. There was an explosion. I got the ticker saying that he died. And as everybody was fleeing out of the club, I just walked out like nothing happened. And it was so satisfying. Now, mind you, it took me a few tries to figure out this strategy, but seeing it all come into play like that is just so oddly and morbidly addicting. And that's it. Those are the pickups for January of 2021, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.